something I didn't see possible when I was, speaking of outdoor games and freezing cold weather and freezing one's behind off. I wasn't thinking going into the fourth quarter, calling the Christmas Eve game in Pittsburgh, PA, between the Raiders and Steelers. I wasn't thinking at all. You know what I'm doing right now? I'm calling the last quarter of Derek Carr's Raiders career. That's what I'm doing.
Jeez, right?
You know what I'm doing? As they've blown yet another lead. I'm calling Derek Carr's last drive and last pass as a Vegas Raider, or a Raider period, from Oakland to Vegas. That's what I'm doing. But that's what I did. Because when the Raiders lost that game and found themselves on the brink of elimination and then wound up being eliminated, with Derek Carr having a contract for next year with a large sum of guaranteed dollars if he's injured and he's got to be paid, they said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to send you home, and we're going to start Jarrett Stidham, and we're going to tell everybody, don't pay attention to that contract. We're just going to say, we need to see what we have in the kid. As if Josh McDaniels had just met him. So today, Derek Carr acknowledged the obvious, which is he's done with the silver and black in a very moving and typical for him, emotional, heartfelt, frequently religious, and filled with piety note to Raider Nation. Says it breaks his heart that he can't say goodbye in person. Wasn't perfect. Hope that I was able to leave you with more than a few great memories. He thanked Oakland. He thanked Vegas, the organization, teammates, coaches, and staffs. And then he said, I once said that if I'm not a Raider, I'd rather be at home. And I meant that, but I never envisioned it ending this way after 9 years. Saying that fire burning inside of me to win a championship still rages a fire no man can extinguish. Which man could that be, do you think he's referring to? Only God is what he said. So I look forward to a new city and a new team who, no matter the circumstance, will get everything I have. Winning a championship is what I've always wanted and what I will continue to work towards. God bless you all. And with love, DC4. Here's the deal. His contract calls for his money to be fully guaranteed 3 days after the Super Bowl, right?
That's right.
So Derek Carr has a no-trade clause as well.
Yeah, he carries big numbers for the next year.
What do you got for me?
So if a team would trade for him, this is what you would owe him. You'd owe him $33 million next year, $42 million in 2024, and $41 million in 2025.
Yeah, that's not happening. No team's going to acquire him for those numbers. The Raiders won't get the value that they consider for those numbers. And the clock ticks 3 days after the Super Bowl for this decision to be made. And the new league year is about a month plus after the Super Bowl. So he's going to get cut. He will be a free agent when the new league year hits.
Yeah, he'll get cut. It'll only be a $5.6 million dead cap against the Raiders. So
that's it. So it's over.
Drop in the bucket.
Over. And you may hear talk about trades and all that stuff. No one's going to. And by the way, if a trade gets made, it doesn't become official until the new league year. And there's no paperwork. So a trade could be struck, and then a team could basically say, yeah, we're just not going to do that again. It would suck for Carr. It would suck worse for the Raiders because guess what? That would be after the 3-day period by which they wouldn't know him anymore. They'd be on the hook.
Ooh.
They're going to cut him.
Yeah.
You can't run the risk of remember the Stafford trade hit? It didn't become official till the new league year hit.
Yeah.
And no one was going back to their corners on that one. No Carlos Correa situation. It would be very expensive for the Raiders. So he's going to get cut, and the question is who's going to take him?
Any idea?
Well, I mean, obviously you're hearing the Jets.
You know what I'd like?
Hold on.
A top 5 from you.
What do you got? You want top 5 on this?
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe not today. Maybe tomorrow. Top 5 where you think he might land.
Derek Carr spots?
Yeah.
Well, you just don't know where it's going to be yet. Does New England want him? Scott Zolak said earlier this week, we talked about it with Whitworth, said it sounded right to him that Belichick went from one day in training camp praising Mac Jones to the hills, and then day after the season's over, he's capable of playing quarterback in this league. I think actually, if I'm not mistaken, Mike Hoskins, we have a visual version of that, as a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, geez.
No, and so I don't know if New England is going to be involved in that. What other teams might want him? What other teams are going to be in the market? Another team that you could throw out there. I know that they love him in Seattle. Geno, what are they going to do? I imagine they wouldn't go, take one veteran quarterback and replace him with another.
Right.
Would Houston want him? I don't know.
Carolina, New England.
These are all spots.
Indianapolis. I mean, they've gone the veteran route the last 3 years.
That's true.
And it hasn't worked out. They went Matt Ryan this past year, Carson Wentz last year, Phillip Rivers the year before after Andrew Luck suddenly retired.
That's right. There are all these spots. But in terms of New England maybe being done with Mac after Belichick sung his praises in training camp and then afterwards, was searching for the words to praise him.
Jeez.
The visual version of that, let's put it on the screen. There it is. On the left is the way Belichick felt about Mac in training camp, and on the right is the way he feels about Mac right now. There it is.
We're just...
That's it right there.
How old is that sweatshirt?
I don't know.
Right,
It's an all-time great is what it is.
So many holes.
I think that's it.
It is what
That's
it is.
basically the visual version of that.
You think that sweatshirt came like that, Rich?
I doubt it.
Definitely.
I think it was over the years of well-worn film sessions. So where does Derek Carr go? Where does he fit? Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.